still standing to the test of time. It really stinks. It really is cool. Morning all. Today I'm in Dunbeath, which is a little bit further south of Wick, up at the miles on the screen now. We're exploring the Dunbeath Strath Path. It's depending on how far you want to go, you could spend 5-6 hours or an hour exploring. And we're just going to follow it up and see what we can find. Now a bit further along the way, there's supposed to be a very old burial ground, an abandoned farming house, a broch. So I've been told quite a bit about this path. Well, just look at this. It's not the best on camera, but we've got a rocky, almost like glen that's going through here. The river splits off into two, and there's a bit of an island in the middle. Probably pretty cool for camping. Last time I came to Dunbeath, a friend and I explored a little bit further along this path. There's a bridge about 10 minutes into the trail that had a sign on it that said, "Do not cross, danger of collapsing," or something like that. And so I didn't cross it. I've since been told that that sign's been there years and it's perfectly fine to cross. So there's a couple of bridges like that, I've been told. And we're going to go along and explore it a little bit. As you cross the first quite bouncy bridge, you get a bit of a view of some farmland and just pure, uninterrupted wildlife. After the bridge, so the bridge is there, you come up to Dunbeath Broch, which we're going to take a wander up to. I've done this section before. Just shut the gate, which is quite a steep staircase that takes you up there. From up here you get a better view of the bridge. It's like a suspension bridge, it bounces as you go over it. And in the very far distance, which is where I've just walked along there, the part of the Strath, you can just about see the bridge with a lorry going over it. It may not show up on camera, but there are loads of, I don't think they're midges, I think they're gnats perhaps, eating me alive this morning. But I'm currently at Dunbeath Broch. Here we go, a little bit of a sign about it. You can pause it if you want to have a quicker look, a better look. This is what it would have kind of looked like before. So if you follow the stairs from the first bridge, you can come across this. And essentially, from what I understand, brochs were dwellings but pre-castle, and they would have been possibly in the ground, some of them, but they were always near fresh running water, hence the Strath down the bottom of the stairs there. Those birds are really loud. Wow. We've got some trees here with some very noisy birds this morning. It's about 8:30 in the morning. And this is what they've got left of Dunbeath's Broch. Not a hell of a lot. I'm going to switch a light on in just a second to show you inside. But you can see the layers of how it would have been built. There's not a hell of a lot left. But it's interesting to look back on history and think how people would have been living in this. So that's Dunbeath Broch. I'm thinking in future of doing an episode or a couple on brocks themselves. We can go into a bit more detail on what they know, because I know a lot of them they don't know a hell of a lot of information on. But we can go and explore some, because there are a hell of a lot up this part of the country. Look at all these wildflowers. Aren't they pretty? They almost look like forget-me-nots, but I'm not too sure. So if you know, leave a comment in the comment section. I'm just going to follow this brock around. You get a real understanding of how it's built. You see people have walked around it like myself. And you can just see the layers of all the stone that they would have collected. But in the distance, you may be able to see what we're going to go and explore next. And that, you'll find out in just a moment what that is. But this really is a pretty little location, just at the top of the stairs on the first bridge on the Dunbeath Strath Path. We're going to head down towards the second bridge, which is going to take us over to an abandoned building. So if you come over the bridge, the first bridge on the path, carry on and just follow this around here, and that takes you over towards an abandoned farm building. Another view there of the, I don't know what you call it, a Strath River, whatever you want to call it. And it just takes you through this woodlandy sort of walk towards the next bridge. So that's the second bridge cross. We're now just going to head over to this abandoned, or whatever you want to call it, abandoned abandoned farmhouse, I think that's what you'd call it. There does appear to be tracks every so often, so I think they might farm this land. Over here we've got maybe some sort of pen, or it could have been another house maybe. Not too sure on that one. Huge boulders putting them together. And we're going to head over towards this abandoned house. Just before the house, which is over there, there seems to be another dwelling of some kind. You can tell because there's a window, hopefully it's safe to walk on. There's some sort of window there, which is just all crumbled away now. And as you leave it, you come up to this. Fantastic to see that it's still standing. It's actually still in quite a good condition considering the area and how it's just been left to rot. Slight look in there, you can see just how old it was. Still standing to the test of time. It really stinks. So sheep have been in here since I was last here, and lots of wool just everywhere and sheep's shit. But there's still things here, like the door's still there, door frame. I'm assuming there would have been a staircase here leading you upstairs. But yeah, it's interesting for sure. And I don't know, people have carved their name to say they've been here. And I mean, imagine sitting on your armchair here, just looking out at the view. Window frame's still there, and these are old sash windows, so they would have slid up at one point to open up at the bottom. We've got the fireplace there, and the old mantle, which is wood, and some sort of cupboard there. Maybe would have had some drinks in there, who knows. And it's still standing. And if we throw the camera up, you'll be able to see a lot more than me. It looks like there's a chimney there, maybe a fireplace. And there might be one on that side too. Yep, by the looks of it. It really is cool. If it didn't smell so much, it'd probably be a pretty cool place for a bivvy bag camp. And this would have been another part of the house, maybe a lower section. The wall doesn't go quite as high. I imagine the roof was quite short here. Maybe some sort of extension. But it really is cool. Nature's reclaiming, trees growing in it. All this sheep wool here. And again, even living in this part, if you sat here with the door open, the view of the Strath here, even though nature's taking it back, it's still pretty solid. Great view across the Strath there of that abandoned farmhouse. And it really is pretty out here today. The sun's come out and all the life is showing. Got lots of little wild flowers. And something I'd like to show, and I may have shown a little one earlier, we go across this very carefully, is these. If anyone knows, leave in the comments. I think they're like a wild lupin or something. I'm not too sure. All I can be sure is I bet the bumblebees absolutely love them. And anything that keeps the bees happy is important. So we're going to follow the path along here. We've gone across to the other bridge. Follow on from where I've been told to keep on this side of the river. Even when you get to the third bridge, stay on this side and carry on. And we're going to try and pick up a bit of speed, just because I'm limited for buses. There's like one every 2-3 hours. And if I get back and just missed a bus, I'm going to have to sit at the bus stop for a few hours. I don't really fancy that. And there's absolutely nothing in Dunbeath. All there is a village shop and a seafood like takeaway place, which sounds great, but I'm not in for spending probably £15 on seafood today. So my only option is to make sure I get my bus. Been following the path for about 10 minutes since the last clip, and it really is pretty. We're currently going through like a woodland walk. I've got the Strath down the bottom of this steep valley, and it just really is pretty. The best thing about doing these walks, especially early, is you don't see anyone. And it's nice to see people sometimes, but if you want to just get out, and if you work in a job like myself, I work in retail, you're just overwhelmed by people all the time. But it really is lovely just to get out and not see people. Maybe the occasional dog walker. They're usually pretty friendly. The only thing with leaving so early is people haven't been down the path this morning. So I seem to be taking every spider web out with me that gone across the path, so I just feel like I'm covered in spider webs. There's definitely sheep along here because there's lots of fresh droppings, and I mean lots of it. It's a minefield, but it really is just a pretty woodland walk. Got more with little views of the Strath every so often, but eventually we're going to hit an old burial ground. And we're going to see what dates are on them. If there's dates on them, it'd be interesting to know just how old it is. But wow, it just opens up every so often, and you can see it's a big old valley. And there may be a path on that side. It might be, because at the other side is where that old house was. So maybe you can follow it along that side. Maybe that's an exploration for another day. So I'm at the third bridge, and from here we're going to stay on the same side of the river I was, because that's what I've been told the best path is. But there does seem to be a path going back that way, so I think there's a sort of a circular route that you can come this far and go back on the other side. But this water is so clear. I imagine on a warm day it'd be lovely to go for a dip in that. There's some beautiful views at the top of this hill. Oh my god, was that steep. I'm still puffing away. I'm really unfit. My goodness. If you look down there, the water level's not too high, but there's a bit of a valley. You can see the other bridge I was just at. But wow. I'm out of breath. Oh, we got some sheep here. I didn't see them. Got a young one there, and its mum. And I'm going to carry on going this way. The views up here really are fantastic. I'm still out of puff, so ignore my breathing. But we got a huge, well, I'd call it a cliff at this point there. We've got some sheep in the field up here, and I'm at a sort of a standstill here. There's some fencing. So we're not going to go that way. It does look beautiful that way though. We're going to follow this, I'm assuming, walker's path, and hopefully if it doesn't loop back round, it goes where I want it to go. But yeah, this really is stunning. They see me and they're running. It's amazing how landscapes can change so suddenly. Because where I live, it's mainly farmland surrounding Wick, so there isn't, like, it's not too hilly, and unless you walk along the coast there isn't a hell of a lot of walks. Yep, I hear you. But there they go. Oh, there's a lot of sheep up here, so I'm wondering if this is the track that I need to go. Yeah. Yeah, you're talkative. Yeah, are you shouting for someone? Ah. I think they've lost their mum. They've got some lovely ones there, look. And in the distance, you probably can't see on this camera, that's a little turbine for someone's house or something. But in the very far distance, not only did we have the ocean, but we've also got the offshore wind farm. My pal's very talkative today. He's shouting over towards the other sheep, so he's either lost his mum, or he's like, come on, I want to go this. So as you get along it, so I followed the fence line about 2 minutes from where I was, and it brings you to this area here where you can, if you're a sheep, you can go through this cutout here. That's good, you know, we cater to all kinds. We've got a little booth turnstile, I don't know what you'd call that, turnstile sort of thing. And in the background there, I believe that's the Malvern, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a large peak in Caithness. In fact, the only peak in Caithness. So I'm going to go through this little booth thing and follow the trek to the old graveyard, cemetery, burial ground, whatever you want to call it. That hill was pretty steep. If I was expecting it, I would have took my coat off. I think I've lost a stone in sweat. You don't want to know that. But we're now, just the views from here are just something else. We've got all these sheep and their lambs, and the lambs would have been born some point in the last 3 months, maybe a little bit longer, but unlikely. So they're getting chunky. They're getting to the point where we might want to put some mint sauce on. We've got the wind farms in the background there. We've got some beautiful little lambs over there with their mothers, and we're just going to follow this path now all the way to the burial ground, which I believe is a white walled area over there. So we'll see. Hello friend, you got some great views up here. Your lamb's looking very chunky. You're feeding them well. We've got some runners there. Oh look, we're all going to run together. And the views really are spectacular. We've got quite a few old croft buildings in the background there that are sort of left to rot. And we've got a lot of little lambs just chilling. This is great. There's a lot of wildlife this way too. And I didn't know, and I've been in Caithness 2 years now, I didn't know this walk was here. And I'm so glad I'm getting out this week and experiencing more of my local area, because it really is pretty. Oh, quick, they've seen me, run away. But it truly is beautiful. You might just about see those old croft buildings over on the hill there. If I can zoom in, I will. We're walking about 15 minutes now along this trail. Just jumped the gate there. Probably could have opened it, but it was easier. We've got a beautiful view of the mountains over there and the sheep. And we've got over here what I'm assuming is completely abandoned, other than the farmer using it for whatever they're using it for, because there's definitely, you know, sheep and things here. So we might be able to have a quick look at this, but if there's gates we won't be trespassing. It's interesting the types of buildings you can come across when you're hiking out places like this. And we're now on the last stretch towards the old burial ground. I can actually see it in the distance now. It's exactly what I thought it was. We've got some sheep guiding the way, and over there we got some more hills that look like they might have trails on. This is what would have been someone's home, I imagine. It's quite interesting when you see things like this just left to crumble. You can see that the farmer does something here. I'm no farmer, so I wouldn't know what these are for penning something in. But these are quite interesting to look at. What once would have been here, someone's home, someone living there every day with these views. I could think of worse views to wake up to as the crows fly above us here. It really is pretty. Some great birds up here. Oyster catchers, I think those ones are. I don't know why they're up here, because we're nowhere near water. But who knows? If it's not an oyster catcher, let me know. So I've been walking for about 20 minutes, I guess, something like that. And we're now coming up to the end of the track, or I believe it's the end of the track, where there is an old burial. I'm not sure how far back these dates go. It's part of the Dunbeath Heritage Trail. It'd be rude not to go and have a look. And it truly is. If you can hear me over this wind, I'll be really impressed with this camera. It really is. I've not seen anyone at all. There was a woman walking behind me a bit earlier, down by the Strath. But that was it. I saw her for about a minute. So I've been out for about 3 hours. I've just looked at buses and I messed up a little bit. because I looked at buses for yesterday. I was going to come yesterday and I didn't, so there was meant to be one at 1 and then one at 4, but today there's only one at 4 and it's now 10, coming up to 10 o'clock, which means 2 hours back, let's say, I'm gonna have 3-4 hours to wait. So I'm gonna go on the local Facebook page and see if anyone's passing through and pay petrol money. And if not, I've got to wait 4 hours. Great planning on my behalf. It's supposed to absolutely hammer it down today. I've been very lucky it hasn't yet. In the background there you might be able to see the ocean and the wind farm, and we got these ominous looking clouds coming over, and I am in the middle of nowhere. If it rains now, all I can do is firm it. All I can do is stand in it. There's nowhere to get any shelter. Well, here we are with quite a view. Unfortunately, the residents don't get to enjoy it. But if you moved locally, maybe you bought that house that was just back there and did it up, your neighbours would be quiet. That's all I'm saying. Views of the mountain in the distance, and it just goes on and on and on, this land. You think it stops and then you see the trail goes further. So here we go. Housed within a white wall is an ancient burial ground, but that is locked. That's a shame. Wow, look at this. 1948. So actually these aren't as old as I thought, and somebody's obviously keeping it well. It's been trimmed. We got there 1930, 2000, 1905. That's an oldie. You can tell it's been there a fair while. And in fact, that's 1920 and he was 77. Actually, the more you go this way, the older they seem to get. 1908 and 1894. 1894. Wow. That is something. Can't even imagine what life was like here in Caithness back then. Just look at this. And it really is pretty. Oh, that opens inward. So, idea now is find somewhere to perch, have a bite to eat, and plan how I'm going to get home, because I don't really fancy waiting 4 or 5 hours for a bus, possibly longer. So I'll come back in a moment. So after a little bit of lunch, just sat watching the view. I say lunch, it's 10 AM. It's now time to start heading back. This time I'm not going the way I came. I'm going to follow this track, and apparently it takes just under 2 hours, which is kind of the amount of time it took me to get here, to be fair. About 2 hours to get back to Dunbeath. So I'm going to try that. We're going to see if there's anything interesting along the way. And it's quite nice not to do the same trip there and back. It's nice to do a bit of a circuit. And I've put into the local Facebook group to see if anyone's passing through Dunbeath, because even if I'm back for 12, I'll still have 4 hours to wait. And I don't really fancy that. I've messed up a little bit. I just put a post about an hour ago, like a local people's group thing. Someone said online that I can jump in the car with them, and that's really cool. I have said I'll pay some petrol if they want it. I'm now heading back. I'm going a slightly different way, and I think this path is going to take me down towards the Broch, which is where we went first, over that first bridge, and then from there walk back the route I came. Now we're just going past some farmland. We've gone past all the sheep, and somewhere down on this path now there's going to be a path that takes me down to the Broch, I believe. There's a beautiful view from here looking out towards the ocean, over towards Dunbeath, and it really just is pretty. I mean, even the flowers here, If anyone knows what they are, leave it in the comments below. No cars through here, just so anyone knows. If you're driving along here, just remember not to take your car through here, because you could break the rules. I mean, if you get your car through there, it's quite impressive anyway. I believe those trees over there to the side of the power line is where the broch is. So we're going to head down there now and then basically retrace my steps back to Dunbeath. I've just heard back from the guy, a lovely bloke called Ian, and he's heading back to where I live pretty much, and he said no need for fuel money. So from here we can see the farmhouse we explored earlier today. Looking down at the path pretty much that we took. Now you can't see where I walked because I was this side of the river, but you can see where I went over to the farmhouse. The bridge is down there somewhere. Wow, this really is pretty. Yeah, so here we go, we got the broch here. So if you just follow through the shrubbery, you'll find the broch, you'll see the farmhouse, and you look towards Dunbeath, there's a lorry there going through. Brilliant. Can you hear the sheep in the background? They're either warning something off or they've got some food. More of these purple flowers here, look. So we're now back at the broch, and we're going to take, so we've probably got about 20 minutes, if that, back to Dunbeath, which will give me about an hour to wait until my lift, and from there we're going to get back home. So if you've enjoyed seeing a little bit of my area and what there is to see and do, give us a subscribe. Next we're going to be out at Scrabster, which isn't far from Thurso, and from Scrabster you can get a ferry over to the Orkney Islands. But we're not going over to the Orkneys, we are going to do the Holborn Head, I think it's called, circular, which is a circular hike around the cliffs essentially, and it takes you back into the little town of village I'd assume. If you like exploring, you like seeing a little bit more, or you might even be researching ahead of your trip on an NC500 or something, this is a great little hike. If you're going to stop, I think you could do it in 3 hours. I mean, stop to have a drink and maybe a sandwich, but if you don't stop every 2 minutes to film and look at lupins or whatever they are, butterflies here. If you saw that, can you hear the sheep over there? They're so noisy. I think they're being fed at the minute, that's why there's food, there's food. If you like exploring or anything like that, this is a good channel for you to come and check out. And I try not to overly talk so much all the time. So we're back to that first bridge, look. So you go down a few stairs over here, takes you to the bridge, and you just follow the strath along to that big bridge you see in the distance there. Look over the glen, and that is Dunbeath. So unless I see anything special, I'll see you next week. I can't believe how lucky I've been. So I'm literally at the end of my hike. I'm about to go and meet the guy giving me a lift, and the heavens have opened. You might be able to see it in the water there. It's just starting to rain. It's just a quick thank you / shout out at the end of the video for Ian. If it wasn't for you, I probably would have had to wait 4 hours to get back from Dunbeath back to Wick where I live. So cheers again for that. His channel is on screen right now, and I'll leave it in the description. Check out his latest song, or one of his songs even, which is actually about Caithness, the county this video was filmed in. Thanks again, Ian. Take care.